The title of my presentation is Nigerian Context for Biosafety and African Regulators' Perspective. This is the staff of the National Biosafety Management Agency, 350. Introduction. There's no doubt African member states have made major strides in the adoption of modern biotechnology and its regulation as well. Nigeria as a country has also made major strides in ensuring its institutional and other legal instruments on ground to ensure effective regulation of modern biotechnology. The regulation of modern biotechnology in Africa, including Nigeria, covers the area of emerging biotechnology and other aspects of the technology that covers both plants and animals and microbes. The decision process of modern biotechnology practice cover the area of containment and confinement, and also import and export and commercialization and post-release monitoring, particularly that of Nigeria. Nigeria as a country has also made major strides in the area of developing guidelines on gene editing, and also currently in developing other guidelines in the area of gene drive, genetically modified fish, genetically modified trade, and stag gene was also approved recently. The incoming in of the National Biosafety Management Agency date back to the adoption of the Convention on Biological Diversity, which Nigeria signed and ratified, and subsequent negotiation of the Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety, which Nigeria also have signed and ratified, and recently also acceded to the Nagoya Kuala Lumpur Supplementary Protocol on Liability Intelligence. The National Biosafety Management Agency has the mandate to put in place regulatory instruments, institutional and other mechanisms for effective regulation of modern biotechnology, so that the practice of modern biotechnology and the use of this product will not have any negative part on the conservation of biological diversity, taking into account risks to human health. The agency also has the mission to promote basic tenets of biosafety as stated in the Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety. The objective is basically of the biosafety to ensure that potential risks of modern biotechnology and products are guarded against for good of people and the environment. The evolution of national biosafety and biosafety issues in Nigeria date back to 1992, the signing of the Convention on Biological Diversity, and subsequent development of the first national biosafety guideline in 1994, and subsequent one in 2001, which covered the Cartagena Protocol, which Nigeria signed and ratified. The guidelines of 1992 were not adequate enough to only cover the issue of genetically modified organisms and relates to biotechnology in the agricultural sector. The Ministry of Environment since 1999 today has handled the issues of biosafety until the creation of the agency, National Biosafety Management Agency in 2015. Subsequently, other activities of the agency leading to development of various guidelines, regulations, and policies has led to giving more credence to the National Biosafety Management Agency in the area of gene editing, gene drive, and other regulatory aspects of modern biotechnology. The Act itself has various aspects that need to be implemented that relates to the issue of genetically modified organisms for import and export, packaging, identification, and transport, for commercial release of GMOs, containment and confinement of genetically modified organisms, and the issue of risk assessment and risk management and major aspect of the regulation of modern biotechnology, and the use and the handling of these products which are genetically modified organisms. Risk assessment, the Nigerian regulatory system basis risk assessment in the area of sound science, comparative analysis, case-by-case basis, concept of familiarity, and concept of substantial equivalence. The function of the National Biosafety Management Agency includes formulation and implementation of policy, building of capacity of staff of the agency and related experts, monitoring and enforcement of compliance in biosafety, deterrent analysis of genetically modified organisms. And the issue of risk assessment is very key, and to ensure safety to GMOs, to the environment, and human health. And the socioeconomic aspect of it is also key. The function of the agency does not only fall in the mandate of the agency but also goes beyond the mandate of the agency in other related. The genetically modified organisms as relates to the areas of regulation by the National Biosafety Management Agency includes genetically modified organisms for containment facilities, for confined field trial, multi-locational trial, on-farm demonstration, and commercial release. The NBA milestones in regulating biotechnology so far include development of biosafety and biosecurity regulatory instruments, formation of scientific advisory bodies, establishment of national GM detection analysis laboratory, accreditation in institutions for modern biotechnical practice, and profile of confined field trials, and for commercial release as well. Permit for the import and exportation of genetically modified food for food feed and for processing, and collaboration with stakeholders. Since the existence of the agency, various regulatory instruments have been developed. National Biosafety Policy and also National Biosecurity Policy. The National Biosafety Management Agency of 2015, as amended in 2019, is a major instrument for regulation. Then the biosafety application forms, GM import and shipment form, accreditation institution application form, and a lot of guidelines have also been developed. The recent one is genetically modified biosafety guidelines on genes and start gene, and also genetically modified organisms that have been developed for the area of commercial release is also very key to the mandate of the agency. Gene editing in the regulation of gene editing in Nigeria. This is another major aspect as amended in 2015 Act of the agency, giving the mandate to the agency to ensure the issue of gene editing is properly regulated, realizing the fact that there are some organisms that can carry out natural editing of their genome. The agency decided to develop guidelines, and these guidelines streamline those ones that should be regulated under the biosafety system. And in that case, the National Biosafety Management Agency Act 2015 has amended Section 25A states, no person, institution, or body shall carry out gene editing, synthetic biology, except with the approval of the National Biosafety Management Agency. In view of this, Nigeria has developed guidelines on gene editing. In that case, all genetically modified organisms that do not retain the gene of insert, the novel gene at the end of the product, they are not considered as GMOs, and such the regulation is abridged. If they contain the gene of insert at the final product, or the gene of insert is not removed after the insertion during the modification, such products are considered to be genetically modified, and they are treated as GMO, and the full biosafety regulatory process is applied. This is the table of application, applicant submission, and also first interaction with the agency to confirm whether this agency has the final gene of insert in the product or not. This is the National Biosafety Management Agency Laboratory for GM detection analysis. This lab is equipped with medium facilities to detect and quantify the level of containment of novel genes. This is a section of National Biosafety Committee members working on the review of applications. Also, National Biosafety Survey of GM within the country to determine whether there are GMOs within the country that have not been approved, and also to trace their various locations. So the survey is very key, an annual event which we also have. As part of ensuring synergy and cooperation among regulatory agencies that have similar functions or related functions, the National Biosafety Management Agency has signed with National Variety Release Committee, Nigerian Agricultural Quarantine Service, Nigerian Customs Service, Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, National Seed Council, and also National Food, Drug Administration and Control, among others. And recently also signed another one with the Food for the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Council. The issue of public engagement is also very key. We have adopted various means of ensuring that public awareness is key. We have social media, press briefing, periodically, publication of newsletter, agencies' website, and annual national biosafety conference have been used as a means of enlightening the members of the public. Some key messages. NBMA is not established to stop GMOs, but to ensure that they are safe, Stakeholders' cooperation will only make government protect Nigerians better while harnessing benefits of modern biotechnology. The NBI may have what it takes and is working towards all it takes to ensure the safety of GMOs. You, what do you have to offer? We are open for transparency's sake. The authorization of the GM product, we have approved about 7 institutions for modern biotech practice. We have also approved about 7 GMO for confined feed trials, and we have so far approved 4 products for commercialization: BT cotton, BT cowpea, BT maize, and the GM maize, Teller maize, which is stacked, and also another GM cotton that is also stacked. We have also approved various grains for food, feed, and processing in large quantities as well. Some of the legacies of the National Biosafety Management Agency include confidence built in the members of the public in the adoption of modern biotechnology and its products, which are genetically modified organisms. Nigeria committed to the principle of international agreement by being active in the international protocol on biosafety and other related UN matters. Proper regulation of genetically modified products in Nigeria to ensure that Nigeria is not serving as a dumping. Nigeria benefits from safe modern biotechnology under a framework for economic development of the country. An avenue for provide to confirm and harness the benefits of modern biotechnology. Negative socio-economic consequences are being guided against, and among other areas of our challenge. What are the challenges of the National Biosafety Management Agency? Inadequate funding is that's one of the major challenges. However, the agency has been able to work on with other support from other development partners. Changing government policies. This is another aspect of government operations that sometimes disrupt government the regulation of GMOs from the country. Capacity strengthening is quite costly and requires quite a substantial amount of money to build the capacity, particularly the strength of the agency is large. Misinformation of the members of the public is another aspect and still fight against the agency from time to time. The agency has had to grapple with the challenges of anti-GM groups, trying to distract the agency by filing cases and also going to media houses, preach against the agency, incite the members against the agency. And sometimes we have to write to government agencies that in charge of communication, sanction such bodies. These have been a major challenge, and sometimes they trump up allegations against the chief executive. They are taking bribes by allowing the approvals to go. But on one thing we are determined, we are not going to be deterred by such distractions. We have a task. That task is to ensure that GMOs are safe within the Nigerian